NATO countries, and KFOR doesn't tolerate illegality on the border, doesn't tolerate parallel institutions, doesn't tolerate lawlessness. Kosovo is Kosovo, not 90% of Kosovo and 10% de facto partition. 100% of Kosovo must be governed by the government in Pristina. And so we've worked together. I've worked very closely with NAC, the National Albanian American Council. Many of you know that Harry Barakhtari is one of my dearest personal friends, and we have worked together really with the whole community. I mean, I look around, I see so many people, Lewis, and see other people around here. It's very good to know that I have friends. And we're going to make sure that the entire Albanian nation is protected and free, whether it's people living in Macedonia, Montenegro, of course Albania, Kosovo, and here in the United States. We are going to make sure that the Albanian community is protected. And I'm just delighted and honored to get this award. When I found out about it in the time, I said, you know, I don't want to miss my plane, but the borough president accommodated me to just come and say hello. So thank you very much. Thank you for the work you've done. God bless Albania.
Years ago, a tiny people, not in size, I didn't mean to knock it over, a tiny people, but great in courage, stood up to the strongest empire on the face of the earth. It was led by the man Skanderbeg. And this was his banner. And 500 years later, we're here celebrating the proclamation of the Republic of Albania that took place on November 28, 1912, the proclamation of law by Ismail Chamali and Issa Butulini. 500 years later, these people came up and roared like a lion because they didn't want to be oppressed. And many people say, historians, that if it weren't for Skanderbeg and the Albanians, there wouldn't have been a Europe. that these people fought against the Ottoman Empire and saved Europe. And today, we owe a debt of gratitude to these people. And the Americans and the Albanians have always had a great relationship, dating back to Woodrow Wilson, when in the Treaty of Paris, he said, "Let Albania live." When the other leaders of World War I were trying to destroy Albania, the Americans stood up under the great inspiration of the head of Vatra, the man who founded Vatra, Noli Fan Noli, in 1919, was able to get the President of the United States to side with the Albanians. In 1991, when the Republic of Albania was proclaimed again, when pluralism, democracy was brought into this great nation so the people can hold their head up high with great dignity. Today I want you to know that we have a borough president in Manhattan who went out of his way 2 years ago to proclaim to the world from Times Square that we Americans and we Albanians and we Kosovars, even though you may, this mic is defective, even though you may be divided into 5 parts, you're still one Albanian. Whose economy is booming and who contributes more proportionally to the American effort in Afghanistan than any country in the world. But this borough president went to work immediately. He didn't ask any questions. He did his job, and the world could see from Times Square that New York was on the side of Kosovars and Albanians all over the world. It's my borough president. And the next day it's
Thank you very much, and it is such an honor to have so many distinguished leaders from the Albanian community here, and the great honorary Albanian American, Steve Kaufman, who I think, and I just want to say that I had the honor of serving with Steve in the State Assembly many years ago, but believe it or not, because he doesn't look that old, Steve actually served with my mother in the New York City Council when I was a very young boy.
You got it, Steve?
You got that? And in Albany, he was always considered one of the smartest, most able legislators, and his love of the Albanian people has inspired me and is really the catalyst for bringing us all together. And I want to thank a very new friend, but somebody who I can see the passion in his heart and in his soul when it comes to the Albanian Americans in this country, and that is Asad Reze of the Albanian American Society. I don't know what I would do in the middle of the day walking with my wife, who is very, very, very pregnant, without a call coming in from Asad telling me all the things I have to do. And at least saying, "Who's that?" I said, "It's my Albanian connection, don't worry." So I want to start out by saying, Mir Dita. You didn't think I knew. Okay. Well, today we're here to celebrate the 99th Albanian anniversary of independence. And those 83 delegates from all over the country who gathered in the city of Vlorë to declare their independence almost a century ago knew the path ahead would not be an easy one. But with the courage and conviction, they persevered, laying the foundation for a nation that would endure and thrive. And almost a century later, Albania is a member of the United Nations and NATO, and a candidate for membership in the European Union. That's pretty extraordinary. And closer to home, the economic, cultural, and political contributions of Albanian Americans, as Steve mentioned, is felt throughout our city. You and your ancestors have created the largest Albanian American community in the United States, right here in New York. Think about that. Give yourselves a round of applause. You have built your own churches and community centers, civic organizations, and some very reputable media outlets. And there is now even an Albanian language collection at the New York Public Library. Almost 40% of New Yorkers are foreign born, and Albanians are a vital part of that diverse tapestry. Today, we are here to recognize a few outstanding members of the community. Most are Albanian New Yorkers, but their achievements have enriched our country and people around the world. And today, it's my pleasure to act as the master of ceremonies to give some great honor to these individuals. So let's start with our first honoree. His name is Stan Drugadi, and he's made his mark on both the film and advertising industries. His films include such great hits as Mr. Mom, the 9th highest grossing film of 1983, and The Man with One Red Shoe, which was an early breakthrough for Tom Hanks. His new film is entitled, guess what? Via Albania, the story of Besa. So, growing up as a kid from Washington Heights, which is located very closely to Steve's beloved Bronx, Stan also created many award-winning advertising campaigns, and the most famous one is the one that's heard around the world, which is the I Love New York campaign, for which he won a special Tony Award in 1978. He has... Stan has received every top industry award for his work in television advertising. Please welcome our friend, Stan Drugadi. Come on up. Now, I want to just tell you one thing about these proclamations, because it's very important. Stan, you've gotten a lot of awards in your life. I know the Tony Awards, but this is the ultimate award, because the governor can't give you this, the mayor can't give you this, the President of the United States cannot do what I'm about to do. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
As Manhattan Borough President, I, Scott Stringer, hereby proclaim today Stan Drugadi Appreciation Day in the Borough of Manhattan. This is good till midnight.
Happy 99th.
Thank you.
I had to write some of these things down, I'm sorry. Here we go. First of all, I want to thank the Albanian American Society Foundation, Mr. Zad Rizai. Impossible to forget him once you know him. Mr. Scott Stringer, Manhattan Borough President, former Assembly Member Stephen Kaufman, and fellow honorees. I always want to say a word about my mother and father, Baida and Aslan, for having me and giving me everything I ever needed to face the future. They also introduced me to fellow Albanians who at the time struck me as the simplest and purest people I had ever met. I think it's very Albanian for me to feel very uncomfortable with all these awards, and I just want to give you a key to my real personality. See, I'm a collaborator. I don't do all these things alone. I just want to get that out. And I trained myself to be a collaborator. I collaborated with very gifted, talented, and artistic people. In advertising, I collaborated with my partner, the great Charlie Moss, for over 40 years. My first film, my producer was the great Jack L. Warner of Warner Brothers fame. These collaborations deserve this award as much as I do. And at this point, I really must say, I am not retiring, although some people think I should. What I must do today is introduce you to my newest collaborators in my Balkan projects. Excuse me, my collaborators are, you just look over there, Enver Yusufi and Vesni Pezi. Very strong, very committed Albanian Americans. And my latest film collaborator is Mr. Alan Eisenberg. Perhaps Mr. Saad Rizai, Scott Stringer, and Stephen Kaufman, maybe someone right here in this audience who might be my next collaborator. Anyone, I could get lucky. And I want to say God bless and thank you for this award. This is a big one, as was pointed out, and maybe he's my next collaborator.
You never know.
The next honoree because I am short, stubby, and bald. He is handsome, tall, full head of hair. I have trouble wobbling. He's a great dancer. Born in Pristina, came here and became a great dancer. He said after he gets his proclamation, he'll teach me how to do the minuet. Tony Doda, come on up. Your appreciation for Tony.
Rockstar Tony. So you too, because you've got good moves, and Manhattan appreciates good moves, we are proclaiming Tony Doda Appreciation Day in the borough of Manhattan. Okay, so I say something? Correct.
Medita, unul folosesc ce se dă cu tine. First of all, happy Independence Day. I love being able to say that. In 1912, this Independence Day was not only for Albania, was for the entire Albania. That map right there represents what the entire Albania is. So don't forget. Because Kosovo, for example, we got our freedom. We're not done yet. We need to be accepted from every country, so that way we can be entered in NATO. Not only that, we have Malizi, Montenegro, we have Chamaria, we have Macedonia. When I stand before you, I do stand as Tony Doda, but more importantly, I stand as my Doda family. But whoever knows my family understands that we have given our life for our country, and this country too. And one of the proudest moments for my dad and myself was winning the world title for America. Albanian, we feel like we owe everybody the world once somebody does something nice to us. So as Albanians, I will say thank you to America and thank you to all of you for recognizing us here as a community that gives and has positive outlook in life.
Thank you.
More importantly, I want you guys to all know, you're all my brothers. Number one. The reason why I say that is because when I see an Albanian, I feel like I've seen the entire country. When I run into an Albanian and they share a wonderful word of proudness, of just joy, that makes me so happy because, you know, many examples before us have done that. And I used to be on the other side, but now that I'm receiving it, I have to tell you, my heart grows with each and every one of you. And I want to say thank you to Sadr Zai. He is amazing. You're right, once you get to know him, it's hard to get rid of him. But I will say one thing. This man works tirelessly through emails, because I read all of your emails. No choice, they come to my mailbox. But they are always with passion, with love, and with sharing as much Albanian love as possible. But the most important part is that, you know, Sten Dragoti is an amazing person that I always admired, and I got to meet him finally a while back with Fadil Berisha, which sends his love, by the way. He's sorry he's not here, but he's actually setting up a party tonight for all of us. But he said, I love New York. You know, and passion comes from people that have passion. And, you know, obviously he's an Albanian passion person because that's where that passion came from. And all of us sharing I love New York by saying I love Albania. The great Albania. I went home to Kosovo in August, and I'm sorry, I know I'm being long-winded.
No, it's okay,
I don't care. I love my people. The thing is, I went home to Kosovo this August, and I got to tell you, we went to Valbon, we went to Tropoj, we went to Pristina, Jakov, we went to all over. I can't tell you how beautiful our country is. It is an amazing country, and the love that people have for one another is amazing. I just want everybody to realize, you're not from Montenegro, you're not from Chamaria, you're not from Macedonia or Kosovo. We're all from Albania. All of us.
Let's give another round of applause. Albania's superstar. First is Sammy Rapisti. Where's Sammy?
No, he's not here.
Okay, we're going to accept the award on behalf of him. Let's give him a round of applause in his absence. Our next certificate goes to noted journalist and advocate for women's rights, I'm getting there. Shqiperise. Come on up. Shqiperise is the CEO of the Albanian American Community Foundation and the founder of Albanian American Women's Organization, the first and only such organization in the U.S. She's also the founder of the first Albanian elementary school in New York. Give her a round of applause. Our last certificate goes to Tahir Kanaja.
Actually, Baba Tahir is deceased, so we're so proud.
Yes. Even though she is deceased. He fought for freedom and democracy for Albania and Kosovo here in New York for more than 40 years. He was also a member of the resistance during World War II and was later imprisoned by the communist regime until his release, after which he immigrated to the U.S. in 1961. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2002. He was a true patriot and a true American. And accepting the certificate on his behalf is his nephew, Qazim Doda.
Thank you very much.
And finally, I would like to present a Sister City proclamation to the city of Pristina. Like Manhattan, Pristina is an economic and cultural capital. And like New York, Pristina and Kosovo are defined by a strong commitment to ethnic diversity, religious pluralism, and liberty and freedom for all. The Albanian American community here in New York forever links us to this beautiful city steeped in history and tradition, but with its eyes firmly on the future. Accepting the proclamation are Deputy Prime Minister Mimosa Kusarila, on her behalf, and Minister of Diaspora Markoli Ibrahim. Okay, let's give him a round of applause. And I don't do the names justice, but I'm getting there. Okay.
Kam derën edhe kënaqësinë të jem me juve në këtë ditë të bekuar për popullin shqiptar.
I'm satisfied I'm honorable to be with you on this blessed day for our Albanian nation.
Dhe për vjetorin 99 të pavarsisë së
The
Shqiperisë.
99th anniversary
Dhe
of
të
the
ditës së
independence of
flamurit.
Albania and the
Gëzuar
flag.
pavarësi, dita e pavarsisë, mësuar dita e flamurit.
Happy Independence Day, happy Flag Day.
Kënaqësia ime është e veçantë, nga se këtë datë e shënojmë në vendin që historikisht ka qenë mbështetje të lirisë.
Actually, I'm sorry to interfere. Actually, I just should translate for you guys here because as I see all the Albanians understand Albanian. So I won't bother you. We're good. So we'll have to speak.
Kënaqësia ime është e veçantë, nga se këtë datë e shënojmë në vendin që historikisht ka qenë në mbështetje të lirisë dhe të demokracisë në trojet shqiptare. Kjo ndjen është edhe më e veçantë edhe për faktin se në mesin tonë gjenden miq të përkushtuar, siç ishte edhe kongresmeni Engel, njeriu i cili u vuan në mbrojtje të kauzës së drejtë të popullit shqiptar për liri e demokraci. Jam i nderuar që këtë datë të bekuar po e shënojmë po ashtu me miq të përhershëm të shqiptarëve siç janë populli amerikan. New Yorku dhe Shtetet e Bashkuara të Amerikës janë vende të veçanta për Shqipërinë dhe Kosovën, duke pasur parasysh se këtu kemi një pjesë tepër të rëndësishme të komunitetit shqiptar amerikan. Kontributi i cilëve ka qenë dhe është i zëvendësueshëm në lirinë dhe ngatimin e shtetit të Kosovës. Ky komunitet duke ditur që të integrohet mirë, krijoi miq me institucionet amerikane, duke dhënë kështu kontributin më të madh në lirinë dhe pavarësinë e Kosovës. Ne, shqiptarët, do të jemi mirënjohës përjetësisht Shteteve të Bashkuara të Amerikës, ndërsa komuniteti shqiptar-amerikan duhet ta ruajë këtë miqësi të krijuar dhe të jetë besnik gjithmonë ndaj vendit më demokratik në botë, Shteteve të Bashkuara të Amerikës. President Stringer,
Ju falemnderit për mundësinë që i ofroni komunitetit shqiptar amerikan Manhattan. Dhe juve, bashkëdhetar shqiptar amerikan, ju falemnderit për gjithë kontributin që keni dhënë për dekada dhe po vazhdoni të jepni për kauzën shqiptare në Ballkan. Kësaj po i bëni nder vetes dhe vendit të parëve tuaj. Zoti bekoft Shqipërinë dhe shqiptarët, Zoti bekoft Kosovën dhe trojet shqiptare, Zoti bekoft Amerikën dhe popullin amerikan, Zoti bekoft dhe lartësoft miqësinë shqiptar-amerikane. Faleminderit shumë.
Life and during my activities, and my husband. Also this day, today, November 28th, our day flag, I'm dedicating to this flag that lives forever in our blood. My father was arrested this day and sentenced many years in prison. God bless you, my father, that you have died, but you are always alive. God bless America. God bless our nation, and I'm waiting, and I hope I live, that we all are going to be one country. My beloved Albania. Thank you.
Let's give an amazing round of applause to the honorees, to the sister city, to everybody from the community. Let's give everybody a big round of applause. You do your heritage and your city and culture proud by being here today. And I want to thank all the organizers, everybody who came together for this event. Let's stay together, let's stay in touch, and let's work for the betterment of New York. And as part of that, the Albanian American community. Thank you all, and God bless you.